In recent years, summer droughts have hit hard, and people are changing the way their homes handle water resources. Alan Scott is a bachelor who has lived in Seattle for 15 years. He's an electrical engineer who builds remote camera systems to explore the oceans. He's very passionate about water conservation. About a year ago, Alan decided to go green, so he went house hunting. His challenge, finding a home near the coast that treats water like gold. The solution was buying this green home with state-of-the-art water recovery and conservation technology. This house not only conserves water during dry spells, but also handles the downpours of Seattle's rainy season. But it's in the master bathroom that this home began to satisfy Alan's passion for water conservation.
Toilet is low flow. In fact, there's a dual control here for a long flush or a short flush.
And in all other respects, it works like a regular toilet?
Yes.
You don't have to worry about getting backed up?
So far, so good. And two, the quality of what she put in, I don't have any concerns about the longevity, about the life.
Wait a minute, the quality of what you put in?
I mean,
what does that mean?
The quality of the materials used in the construction of the home.
No, I thought you meant the quality of what you put into the toilet.
Oh.
Okay, we're having way too much fun.
Yikes.
Huge, huge walk-in shower.
I think you just, lie down.
Oh. Well, I suppose that would work.
Outside, I met Martha Rose. She was the contractor for Alan's home. Martha builds houses to Washington State's 5-star Built Green standards, the most stringent. She's very proud of the water conservation systems that made this home so appealing.
They say that water is going to be one of the biggest changes that happens with climate change, as far as some places will be wetter, some places will be drier. Even Seattle will get very long periods of dry during the summers, they say.
How does this thing work?
Do you see how in the back up high there's a gutter that goes horizontally?
Yep.
That is the trick, is putting in this horizontal gutter.
In this imaginative rainwater recovery system, gutters channel water off the roof and into this 3,000-gallon barrel to be used for irrigation.
So I can see how the water gets into it. How do you get water out of it?
Okay, so let me show you. If you want to just water, you turn on the spigot. What you do is hook drip lines to that. The idea being that the irrigation could easily handle everything from this point out on a gravity basis.
The smart use of rainwater in dry months is a very green design. During the rainy season, when rainwater runoff can cause flooding, Martha designed the driveway to allow the water to soak directly into the ground.
So instead of having asphalt or concrete or something else that's non-permeable,
Right,
the rainwater can just go right back into the ground.
that's right.
What did you plant in here?
This is Irish moss and Scotch moss, and moss is really wonderful for holding water.
So these are big sponges.
Yeah, they're filters too.
I had to test it out.
Look at that. It works. And now we have happy moss.
In the beginning, Alan Scott's challenge was finding a home near the coast that satisfied his passion for water conservation.
I really love the way you put it all together.
With views of Puget Sound and lots of smart water design, Alan found his dream green home, one that efficiently deals with Seattle's weather all year round. Today I'm in Seattle, Washington, and it's the perfect place to see how people are beginning to treat rain as a valuable resource. Robert and Vivian Weber live east of Seattle, across Lake Washington in Kirkland. Robert is a sustainable building advisor, and Vivian a technical writer. They've been married for 19 years, and they have 2 daughters, Marika and Callie. Both are passionate about their close-knit family life and about conserving the region's water resources. The Webers have lived in this split-level home for 14 years, which was originally built in 1917.
It's a small bathroom, so
in the morning there's 5 of us that use this.
but we're very good at just getting up early.
Their problem? The house was too small for their growing family and was never designed to handle Seattle's rain in an eco-smart way. The solution? Expand the living space, put in a rainwater recovery system to conserve water, and a rain screen wall to protect the integrity of the house. To do that, I'll help Robert with the plumbing on his rainwater collection system And later, I'll help put up the rain screen wall. Now, Robert is kind of a mad professor type. He's designed all the green systems, and he's really intense. But he's really smart. He's really thought through all of it. He's got some really cool stuff here, including rainwater collection. Come on, let's go meet him.
Oh, hey there. How you doing, Steve? Oh, good, thanks.
Hello, good man. How are you? Good to see you again.
Very nice to see you.
So we've been calling you the Mad Professor. You don't mind, do you?
No, you're the only one calling me it, so it's okay.
We mean it in a loving way.
I'm taking it that way, and I'll get even, don't worry.
I know you will. I know you will. So what's on the dance card for today?
Well, you brought your work gloves, so we're going to go work on the cistern system, the rainwater collection, and then we have the air system for the outside wall.
Off we go then.
All right.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Big black tanks. What are we looking at?
Well, this is where the rainwater is going to get stored. It's going to come down off the roof, down through the gutter system, and go into a filter, and then go into the tanks, and...
Why black? Was that the color of the month?
It doesn't quite work that way. They're colored black, so you don't get algae growth. You want to keep the light away from the water.
Oh, interesting. So as long as you keep the light away from the water, it won't grow algae?
I can't say it won't grow up, but it sure helps reduce it. Yeah.
Robert designed the system himself. It'll hold about 3,000 gallons, and in the rainy season, take only a few weeks to fill. Then he and Vivian will have about a 3-month supply of water for irrigation and lawn sprinklers.
Put me to work.
All right, let's go. Where do you want to start?
You got power. Okay.
Ready to get started?
Yep.
Okay, well, we got to finish hooking up the drain plumbing. Why don't we make our mark right there and go ahead and cut it.
This molded plastic pipe is ideal for plumbing. It's cheaper than metal, easier to maintain, and it lasts a long time.
No, this is a great project as a do-it-yourself project. This is not rocket science. Anybody can do this.
Anybody can do this. It's easy to glue pipe together and, oop, there we go.
For some of us, it's easy.
Yeah.
Now tell me the issues with the city in using rainwater to flush your toilets.
I haven't broached that yet.
Yeah.
I know some places let you do it, and others haven't, and I just haven't broached it. I'm going to plumb it so I can, and it's easy to add on, but I don't know what the legalities
Maybe
are.
it's the don't ask, don't tell policy.
That's a possibility,
Just do it.
I mean, you talk to people, probably like
What
you.
do they do, arrest you for saving water?
Well, you...
Take you away in chains?
I mean, you think
He's
about
flushing
it.
his toilet with rainwater.
We're flushing our toilet with drinking water.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
what
should be
sense does-
criminalized.
That should be criminalized. So, from a common sense point of view, it should work.
I know.
mean,
Even though Robert won't be drinking the water in these tanks, he still needs to keep out leaves and debris. So he invented this, his own filter, using off-the-shelf stuff from the home center.
You come up with this great stuff that's like off the shelf. It's kind of wacky. It's totally practical, and it's cheap.
It's
I
cheap.
love that.
Well, anyone can do this. It's easy.
So this is a bin. This is a storage bin.
Yeah.
And then you put a drain in the bottom.
Yeah, cut
Let's
a
take
hole,
look at
and this
that.
is just a standard toilet flange.
So that was like $8, $10?
Yeah, and the gasket, yeah, everything, 12 bucks maybe.
Yeah.
Not much.
All right.
And then I just got a flexible conduit.
So this is
This is probably the most expensive part of it. I think this is like 20 bucks.
wow.
Yeah, these
You
are.
really
I went way out on
you
a limb
went
for
way
this
out
one.
on a limb for this one.
Yeah, and it gives me just a little bit of playroom
Okay.
if I need it.
All righty.
And then this goes on. And then when we're all done, we'll cut a hole here and let our water run into it. And
Awesome.
In this storage bin, Robert puts polyester quilt batting, sand, and 2 layers of filtration mats.
So this stuff is plastic, and it's like a scrubby pad, basically.
it's a giant scrubby pad, and these are used in pond filters.
Yeah.
And we'll just drop this on top. So when the water comes in, any leaves or big stuff will go here, and the water drains through the sand and out. That's it.
That's it.
That's the system.
The only thing left to add is water.
We don't have any rain to test it, Steve. So
That's a good thing.
that's a very good thing. So Paul's up there with the hose, and he's gonna run the water, and it's gonna come on down, and we can give it a little test, see how it works.
He's spraying us intentionally, isn't he?
Probably.
Hey, Paul, you're spraying us.
And he can get away with it.
Yeah, what are we gonna do?
We're stuck here.
That's right.
Oh, there it is. There we go.
And the final proof is in the sprinklers.
So it works. It's guilt-free gardening, which is great. So let's just recap how much it actually cost you to put in.
All right. Well,
Tanks were
600 each, so there's 1,200. Let's throw 200 on for plumbing parts. So now we're what, 1,400, 300 for shipping. I'm 1,700 in total. I mean, obviously it's a do-it-yourself deal.
Yeah,
$2,500.
You're paying yourself what you're worth.
You joined me in the madness today.
You're paying me what I'm worth, which is nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, so $2,500. And that doesn't include, the sprinkler system was already here. Yeah, but the collection and the pumping and the whole thing.
$2,500 bucks.
Yeah.
So payback period?
I would say 5 years maybe, and depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know what's going to happen to the price of water.
We do.
It's going to go up.
It's gonna go up.
All right. I'm here with Tim,
Yeah.
Mark,
And Robert. You know me.
and we are going to build what's called a rain screen wall using a new material that I have not used before. This is pretty good looking stuff.
It's a watertight, high-density plastic sheet that provides drainage and ventilation through its dimple and groove design. It's the heart of the rain screen system, and something most homes don't have.
So it's got these little boxes here. You can see the cross section here. So it allows air to pass freely, both on the inside and the outside. Shall we put some up?
Yeah, let's put it up.
All right.
All right.
Put me to work.
First step, builder's felt, or tar paper, often seen on roofs. It's the first layer of moisture protection for the wall.
I'm just rolling vertically.
The next layer is what I call armor plating, and rainwater is not getting past it. But what about wind-driven rain that might find its way through gaps in the siding, causing rot and mold? Well, this is a ventilated rain screen. It's open to airflow at the top and bottom, so moisture can drain out or evaporate. A rain screen wall can literally save your house, because rot and mold can't get a foothold behind the siding.
Water kills a building.
Water.
Right? And water vapor can kill a building. And this is like polypropylene underwear for the outside of your house.
Pretty much, other than
Look at the look on
pretty
his
much.
face.
I'll get you do better than that.
Some way we'd have to stand it off from your skin. I don't know if you'd like that.
Hey, we can wrap you in this then, huh?
Yeah.
But it really is true. Just as some waffle pattern fabrics create an airflow zone, so does this rain screen.
Well, but no, look, here.
There
Here's-
you go.
Here's some
There you
underwear,
go.
okay? Here's some poly underwear.
Okay.
My sweaty
Other than
body.
it's stuffed into your jeans, I don't know how much airflow you're gonna get, but
Okay, maybe not. Robert and Vivian's house will probably keep drier than I will during a heavy downpour, and it won't have to change its clothes.
Boy, I like the way it goes.
No nails. You got nails?
No, we don't.
Come on. You kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
You ran out of nails?
Look at it, he's embarrassed.
That's all I
ran
got.
out of nails.
Good thing I didn't mention the company.
You're bad.
After a quick and red-faced trip to the hardware store, we're ready to finish up. The third and final step to green this house and make it last as long as possible without needing repairs is the fiber cement siding.
So we've been calling this fiber cement board. What is it exactly?
It's silica sand, cement, secret sauce, and then a wood cellulose. We're a little tight.
So what's the secret sauce?
I couldn't tell you. I'd lose my job.
Fiber cement siding is composed of cement, sand, clay, and cellulose fibers. It gets green points for durability. It can last 50 years or more. With the siding installed, the rain screen wall is complete.
Robert, you're a guy who has thought deeply about every aspect of your house. How did you come up with this particular system? Fiber cement siding and trim and the plastic waffle rain screen material.
You know, this product will last a long time. It's a fiber cement board. The other part I like about it is fire resistant.
What color are you going to paint it?
I think probably a dark green, but it's not my decision.
The boss will
The
decide.
boss will decide.
All right, Robert, thanks.
Thanks,
It's a good
Steve.
system.
All right, appreciate it.
Holly Batt and Jason Lear live in Seattle's Judkins Park neighborhood. They've been married for 10 years. They have 2 young children, Maggie and Hammond. Holly and Jason are passionate about creating a healthy green home for their children. The problem is, the rundown 1908 Craftsman they purchased is too small for their family, and the failing integrity of its walls lets heat leak out and water seep in. The solution? Add a new lower level and addition, while improving the home's thermal envelope. An improved thermal envelope will help this house to be more energy efficient, and that's green. But in addition to keeping the heat in, Jason and Holly want an eco-efficient way to keep water out. During Seattle rains, water runs down alongside the house, threatening the new lower level. And that could mean mildew, mold, and maybe even damage to the foundation. The solution is to put in a drainage system and waterproof the foundation walls. Then prepare to collect rainwater in an underground storage tank or cistern. Today I'll help him do that by installing layers of waterproofing and a drain pipe around the house. Then later, go inside the cistern to roll on a sludgy, waterproof goo.
You are on a hill. You got all the water from the whole hill running down. So one of the key things here is to make sure that the water doesn't get into your, get underneath the house and penetrate into the foundation.
And, and into the finished space of the basement.
Yeah, right.
That's
and,
the big
yeah.
risk, is all those finishes that we'd put in there.
The basement will be a finished room, a playroom for the kids. Definitely not the place for mildew or mold. To go green and minimize maintenance or repairs for many, many years, Jason designed a perimeter drainage system to waterproof the foundation.
Was wet. Okay. We want to drain the water away from the house at the base of the house. And that pipe is the basis of the system.
The water will drain down through gravel and into the pipe, where it will run along the side of the house and into the backyard garden. Next step, 3 layers of waterproofing cover the wall. First, Jason painted on a water-based sealant, basically liquid rubber. And many people might stop there, but not Jason.
And then this red layer is just a slip sheet.
What do you mean by slip sheet?
It's there to keep friction of this drainage board as backfill goes against it, as the ground shifts, from breaking the rubber.
But this, in fact, is waterproof.
Yes, that's why I call it a redundant system.
The third and final layer is a drain mat with filter fabric.
So the idea is that any water sifting in and finding its way between the foundation and the backfill here will go through the geotextile, run down through the waffle, around all these little waffles, and then find its way into the perimeter drain.
Right.
Protecting the home from moisture damage will help the house last many decades and minimize repairs and maintenance. So that's how to keep the water out. Now, what to do with it? To help conserve water, Jason will collect rainwater in this underground storage tank or cistern. And we're going to waterproof it.
So I got you these U.S. Army surplus coveralls.
Excellent.
Coveralls are always a sign that we're about to get messy.
$18.99, that's actually a pretty good deal.
I think Jason and Clinton, our waterproofing expert, want to see me get my hands dirty.
All right. How's it fit?
Pretty good.
It's like you're going to the disco here.
Number 1, disco.
Ready, gents?
Ready.
Into the hole.
Into the hole.
Into the hole.
What's that sound?
Okay, I don't want to disappoint the guys.
So you can take rainwater, harvest it, You'll store it in this big tank,
Yep.
and then use it to flush toilets and do laundry.
Yep.
Cool. How many gallons will this hold?
This is just around 4,000.
That'll be enough water for all of Jason and Holly's non-drinking needs.
Now, to make this useful, we have to make it waterproof.
Right.
That's me.
That's where you come in.
Now first, we need to strip loose the framing supports to get to the walls.
We lose Jason. He ran away.
I'm right here, goop in the hole.
Goop in the hole.
It doesn't fit with your body.
It doesn't fit with me.
And then, the fun part. This is the same goo painted on the foundation walls.
It looks awful. It looks disgusting.
It's actually not. It's actually not bad at all. It is a water-based, rubberized asphalt. It's very, very environmentally friendly. We're using it in a cistern. It's approved for water reservoirs.
It's eco-friendly because it releases no pollutants back into the air or water.
Delicious.
But it's still wet, sticky, and really gross.
We'll roll some out here. This is one coat.
Yeah.
See where the large gaps show up? Jason will come back and foam those.
I like this.
And
I like what I'm hearing here.
I'm coming away with homework.
Alrighty.
Make it out?
Oh, yeah.
2 hours later, we emerged from our hole, tired and, well, a little stinky.
Thanks, Steve.
I gotta go to dinner in these clothes.
Not the coveralls.
Is this cistern going to pay off? You spent a bunch of money for it. You don't even know
I don't
how
even
much.
know how much yet.
Yeah.
I'm not calculating it in terms of payback. I'm not counting the number of years that I'll have my money back by the water savings. This one's about having a thing that makes sense to me.
Right.
You know, rain, collect it, use it.
And besides, think of all the fun you're going to have in that romantic afternoon with Holly, painting the black guck on the walls of your cistern.
Today I'm in Atlanta, which has been suffering from extreme drought conditions for nearly 2 years. Everyone is affected, including Will Pollock and his partner, Charlie Benjamin. Will's an author and photographer, and Charlie is a pastry chef. They share their home with their dog, Trisket. The couple is passionate about conserving natural resources, especially now.
And the stuff I've heard is that it takes twice as long to recover from a drought as long as it took to get the drought to begin with.
Their challenge is how to renovate their colonial revival house with systems that save natural resources.
Steve Thomas.
Steve Thomas, Frank Wickstead, nice
Frank,
to meet you.
good to meet you.
Jerry Adams.
Jerry. So the name of the game is collecting gray water.
Correct.
Gray water is everything that doesn't go through the toilet, right?
Everything that doesn't go through the toilet or the kitchen.
Or the kitchen.
Correct.
And we're going to reuse that and use it to flush toilets?
Correct.
So we'll use that water twice.
We're going to use that water twice. And in doing so, we're going to save 30% of the water that the household uses, which equates to 30,000 gallons a year.
30,000 gallons a year.
That's right.
Sir.
30,000 gallons a year comes to 82 gallons a day. And that's a lot of free flushes. Let's see how this system actually works.
So this is, let's take a look at this thing. This
is one of the first of its kind residential gray water unit that in one unit collects water, filters the water, removes bacteria, and then pumps it back to toilets.
So you're bringing the water from sinks and the shower.
Correct.
Into here.
Into there.
It goes through this thing and gets
goes through this suck, which is going to take every 4 to 6 months. So there's some maintenance involved with this.
Who gets to clean the disgusting stuff out of here? Hair, soap, scum. Just picture the disgusting mess that's in this thing.
And it rinses out in the sink.
Yeah.
And you can wear gloves.
Yeah. You can either rinse it out with water or soak it in vinegar.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So it's not so bad.
Right.
I would do it. Of course I'd do it. All right. Couldn't be simpler.
That's right. Want to move it into place?
Yeah, let's put it in.
Let's do it.
The first step to putting this thing together is attaching it to the home's water pipes.
All right, what are you going to hook up first?
hook up the 3-inch lines. These 3-inch lines here are the ones I have the least amount of play room with against this tight wall. I need a piece about 10.5 inches long.
Not a problem. I measure, saw, and I'm done.
All right, boss.
Okay.
What else do you need?
I got to get this together before I can get another measurement.
After another hour of cutting and fitting PVC, the pipes are ready.
Shower water to toilet water.
Correct.
Makes perfect sense to me. Why doesn't everybody have one of these things?
I don't know. Probably in 10 years, they'll be as common as commodes or water heaters in a house.
Let's hope so. They save tons of water, and they're easy to install. In fact, there's only one thing left to do to finish this job.
Now we got to put a sanitizer tablet in there and a blue dye, right?
Yes, sir.
Plumbing codes require that any water we reuse has to be sanitized. In this case, we're using a tablet that eliminates bacteria.
That just drops in.
Yes, sir.
And then a tablet of blue dye, and that tells you when the chlorine runs out.
Yes, sir. When your water should be blue. Once it starts to turn clear, you know it's time.
The blue dye tablet lets you know that the sanitizer's still working. As long as the water's blue, the water is germ-free.
All right, those are the tablets. I'm gonna go see if the toilet's flush blue. Well, there's a certain circularity to taking a shower, having the water go down the drain, into the tank, get pumped back up, then flushing it down the toilet. See if it's blue. The blue flush.
Do the honors.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there you go.
The blue flush. 3,000 gallons a year. 30,000 gallons a year.
There you go.
And best of all, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm heading north to Massachusetts, a state that until recently was suffering from drought conditions. As a result, its citizens have become highly aware of the need to conserve water in any way possible. Philip Reedy is president of a company that's tackling this issue through rainwater collection. For years, he's been passionate about conserving local water resources. When he started his company, his challenge was how to help homeowners and businesses consume less of the municipal water supply. His solution? He developed a modular system of water collection tanks. His biggest one is nearly 50,000 gallons. Today I'm going to take a look at these huge collection tanks, or what I like to call man-made watersheds. Every drop of rain that falls in the 308 square mile watershed around me ends up in this river, the Charles. Well, think about the roof of your house. If you could somehow collect all the water that spills off your roof and store it efficiently, you'd have your own watershed. The trick is, how do you do that cost effectively? Well, there's a company located right on the banks of the Charles that's figured that one out. I'm meeting with Philip at his factory to find out how his unique system works. So rainwater harvesting is storing rain in a barrel, right?
Exactly. And the only issue with this is it's somewhat limiting because of its size.
How much rain falls in Massachusetts? I mean, how much water can you really harvest off your roof here?
Well, it's actually quite a water-rich part of the country. So you're looking at 3 to 4 inches a month on average, which means, say, for a house with 2,000 square feet of roof, 55, 60,000 gallons a year is collectible from that roof.
And how much of my annual needs does that provide?
For a family of 2, it might cover the entire annual need.
Everything?
For a family of 4, it may be 50% in a house that size.
So half my water bill goes away automatically if I just collect the water off the roof?
Potentially. And what we're talking about is essentially offsetting the use of your municipal water supply with water that's simply coming onto your roof and running away from your house.
Got it. But a rain barrel like this is not going to pack it.
Correct.
Not enough storage.
Right. You need something bigger.
Like this.
Yep.
You need more storage, you add a tank.
Yep.
Now you got what, 400 gallons?
Right.
You need more, you add another tank.
Right.
At some point you want a bigger tank.
Right.
So you get a bigger tank.
Okay, Steve, here's an 850 gallon tank. Another 850.
I got it. You can add as many of these as you want, store as much rainwater as you possibly want to. Problem is they're big and they're ugly.
Exactly. So we had to come up with another solution. Let me show you.
Philip found a way to build large tanks underground, and you won't believe what they're made of.
Okay, a milk crate.
Yeah, it's generally the beginning of the idea for us in terms of how we were going to solve this problem of generating large-scale underground storage.
These crates are light and easy to use. Philip just stacks them side by side in a large hole to create a tank for water storage. But since the crates aren't solid, how does water stay in them?
So what we did is we realized that we could use this structure, wrap it in like a pool liner or a pond liner material, and really get that large-scale, flat, wide tank.
You got a tank.
Underground.
That's a great idea. How do they go together?
Well, let's build one. We can show you.
Cool.
Philip can make these tanks as large or small as he wants, depending on how many crates he uses.
So now you've got your structure. You've got the void space.
Exactly. And this is really ready to be wrapped. Essentially, this is our tank.
Let's wrap it up.
Very good.
A soft filter fabric is laid on top of the crates, followed by a waterproof liner. The liner is made of 100% recycled plastic. A second filter fabric is laid on top of that, and we're done.
Simple as that. Big Christmas present. Now, you got the tank. You need to get water in and water out.
Exactly. So we have typical drainage fittings.
Philip will eventually cut a hole in the tank and install a drain. All the rainwater that runs off a roof will go from the gutters into underground pipes, then into this drain. That's how the tank fills up. But how do you get the water out?
This is just a standard submersible pump.
Correct.
A pump is installed in the tank that sends water wherever you want it to go. A hose, a sprinkler system, or inside the home to flush toilets.
You got water in, you got water out. Couldn't be simpler. How big can you make these things?
Really any size, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 gallons. We have one right up the street we could see, it's 10,000 gallons.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Philip took me to a beautiful home with a large underground rainwater tank.
Where is the tank?
It's right under this patio area. It's really from about this point to maybe 5 feet from the house. It's about 15 feet by 15 feet and it's 4.3 feet deep. A couple feet below this level right here, the top of it.
10,000 gallons. All the roofs dump into gutters. And then the gutters are plumbed into these downspouts, which go into pipes, which feed back into the tank.
Right.
The only question I had left was how the leaves were kept out of the tank. His solution was an ingenious filter in the ground. This I had to see.
So this is a sample. And what you're saying is that the water comes in here.
Right.
And swirls around.
Exactly.
So the swirling water itself, the water goes through this screen and dumps into the tank. And then the leaves just go straight down and they come out this pipe here.
Right.
So there's no maintenance for this thing?
No, this is a very efficient filter and it's essentially self-cleaning.
Yeah, that's cool.
The cost for a 200-gallon system is about $1,500. With a 10,000-gallon tank like this one, you're looking at $25,000. Of course, the real value is in saving a precious resource.
Water's been in the news lately because there's drought all over the country.
Right.
Has your phone been ringing?
Yeah, quite a bit more than last year and the year before.
Who's calling you?
A lot of architects, engineers, developers, but we're really seeing a big increase in the homeowner market as well.
So what's their motivation?
I think water and a lot of environmental issues are becoming a personal issue for people, and they're seeing some impacts in their area. So that drives them to basically want to do something personally themselves, maybe put their money where their mouth is around some of these things.
Well, it's an ingenious system, and best of luck to you.
Thanks very much.
You bet. My pleasure.
Philip had a challenge: how to help homeowners and businesses conserve the city's water. His solution was to build a rainwater harvesting system that can store rainfall and save it for later use. With this device, homeowners can have the water they need, come rain or shine. I'm traveling to Decatur, Georgia, a town outside Atlanta. Here, drought conditions have prompted strict bans on the use of non-essential city water.
Scott Hollenbeck is a Paralympic silver medalist in wheelchair racing and serves as the director of a nonprofit group for disabled children. His wife, Debbie, is a real estate developer. They've been married 7 years and have a 4-year-old daughter, Abigail. Scott and Debbie share a passion for conserving natural resources. A big issue for them was how to keep excess rainwater from flooding the sewers and at the same time irrigate their garden without using the city's limited water supply. They decided that the answer was to install a rainwater drainage and collection system throughout their property. Today I'll tour this couple's newly built home and check out their driveway, designed to redirect rain away from the sewers and into their garden. Then later, I'll help the couple set up a decorative rainwater recovery system for their front porch. And ironically, we get a rainy day to test it out. Atlanta is in a full-on drought. So if you want a garden, you're out of luck because you can't water it. But Debbie and Scott have all the water they need and then some. Let's see how they do it.
One of the things that also helped us to build green was the city has enforced some very strict codes on stormwater runoff.
Runoff occurs when excess rainwater flows into the sewers and overwhelms the sewage treatment plants, causing raw sewage to be released into lakes or streams, polluting the water. To prevent this, Scott and Debbie designed their driveway to divert rain away from the sewers and into their oak tree and garden. See, the idea is to use the driveway as a way to collect water. You've got a swale in the middle of it, and it channels down. I'm walking the swale right now. Turns and goes into this little artificial wetlands.
That's
and
it.
From the wetlands, it soaks into the roots of the oak tree and sort of provides water to your front yard, but it never goes into the storm sewer system.
Right.
The last challenge is a lot of the water oaks in Georgia are dying because of the drought. Simple measures like this will allow you, if you're running all the water off your property, your trees will die. If you kick it back, trees will live.
I mean, this is stuff that farmers have known for years, right?
It's pretty basic.
Yeah, yeah, so we're just rediscovering it. How do they water their lawn without depleting the city's reserve? They use the 4,100 gallons of rainwater they've collected in tanks throughout their property. I see some rain chains right there.
So this is the most rudimentary form of our water collection system. So we have obviously the gutters, the rain comes down the rain chain and gets collected in these cistern vaults.
So the idea is that surface tension will keep the water flowing across the chain.
Right.
And then it's supposed to drip right into this tank.
Right. But one of the joys of living in Georgia is that we get to deal with mosquitoes. So we have this innovative design where you actually put your pantyhose.
My pantyhose?
Well, not yours necessarily. And
yours?
Really not mine.
Don't know you that well, buddy.
Ain't said. What happens in Decatur stays in Decatur.
That might be a
But that gets stretched over the top of the inlet, actually the lower one, where you're going. On both pipes that would actually go. And that prevents any mosquitoes from getting down into our collected water. In a major rainstorm, this thing's going to fill up at least twice. So what happens is the overflow comes down, gets carried out through these vents in the bottom of the brick and comes down underneath where then it's collected by a large drainage system that goes diagonally through the parking pad and ends up in the 3,500-gallon cisterns that are buried in the backyard.
So that ends up in the same place that this ends up?
That's right, so all of the water that comes off the roof line that doesn't end up in our smaller cisterns still gets collected by the drainage system either in the center of the patio or through the trough system around the doorways.
So rainwater enters the system from many different places, but most of it ends up right here.
So basically under this mound of earth, right here, there are two massive tanks
all the way
that are buried probably...
They actually go from Debbie to me, right in here.
These are pressurized. So this will actually be what we use for the drip irrigation system throughout the property.
In a drip irrigation system, water's pumped from the tanks into a series of perforated tubes. The tubing slowly releases the water, irrigating the lawn, and because the tubes are underground, no water is lost to evaporation.
But filling these tubes isn't all these tanks do. They also pump water into the home's several garden hoses.
That's all rainwater runoff, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That must make you feel good.
It's great.
Free water. How many gallons do you figure you're going to collect?
Every time it rains, we're full. Our problem right now is too much water.
Yeah.
Too much water.
We have 35.
You're the only people in Atlanta that have a problem with too much water.
Although the back cisterns are complete, there are two in the front that still need work. To help with that project is Scott and Debbie's architect, Eric Rawlings.
Steve Thomas.
Eric Rawlings, good to meet you.
Good to meet you. You're the architect.
Yes, I am.
And you also install rain chains.
Yes, when you
Whatever
spend
it
all your
takes.
clients' money on the design, you got to help them out.
Eric has brought along some decorative rain chains and two basins that'll funnel water into the cisterns.
Now, these are going to be a little different than the others because a single chain you can just drop straight down the downspout. We're going to have to kind of assemble it inside the gutter here.
So why not just use some downspouts?
Well, we thought the rain chains would be a little more interesting. They're a little more aesthetically pleasing.
Downspouts look like downspouts, you know.
And you don't get to see the water travel down the chains.
Now, when you get more flow, will you actually get the water adhering to the chains?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It looks like a column of water
cool.
rolling right down the chains. It's actually pretty impressive looking.
So what do we need to do to this basin to get it to function as a water conducting device?
What we're going to do is we're going to drill in a 1 to 2 inch hole right through the center here, and then we're going to fill this up with gravel, which will help weight down the chain and keep it from blowing around in a really intense storm. And then that water will filter through the rocks down into the cistern below.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Debbie insists on drilling the hole herself.
Your implements, Madame?
All right.
So I think we should, well, let's mark the middle of the top and the bottom.
Does that look good?
That's pretty much it.
Good eye.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Sometimes the human eye is pretty darn good. You can take it nice and gently.
Whoa, there we go.
Careful. You all right?
Yeah.
So now we know why they're so light. It's hollow.
Yeah.
So now we have to find the center from the other side.
Now that the holes are drilled, we insert a pipe into the basin and align it above the cistern. And despite the drought, Mother Nature picks this moment to take these rainwater collectors out for a test run. We better finish up fast.
It's a good day to test this out.
That's right.
Yes, it is. We got the cistern in place?
That's right.
Next, we need to attach a pipe to the cistern itself and then connect the two pipes together.
This may actually be easier to do from above, I have a feeling.
Here it goes. Perfect.
All right. Can you guide the pipe right in there? There you go.
You good? Good. You good, Eric?
I think so. Good to go.
We're finally done. Time to stand back and admire our work.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it looks really great.
It's so simple. Nobody does it. But the fact is, you've got water,
That's
which
right.
you can use outside, and nobody else in Atlanta does.
That's right. We have reclaimed water.
Scott and Debbie wanted to manage excess rainwater runoff and also irrigate their garden without using the city's diminishing water supply. So they diverted rainwater from their pavement to their front garden and installed a clever rainwater collection system to feed their yard during dry spells.
It is really a great system.
Thank you.
And it's a great house, by the way.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So stay in touch.
We will.
Send me pictures.
Absolutely.
The good ones or the bad ones?
Send them all.
All right.
Love what you're doing. Take
Thank you
care.
very much.
Thanks for letting us drop in.
Mary Bosserman is retired from the criminal justice system. She's married and has a 23-year-old daughter named Kate. Ever since Kate went to college, Mary's been passionate about building a smaller and greener home within easy walking distance of Decatur. Her challenge was to design a house that conserves natural resources and is energy efficient.
And then you're doing this butterfly roof system up here. Tell me about that.
Well, it will be a great way of collecting water for our rainwater system, but really it's just a great design meridian. And
is that a curable condition?
No. So it's going to have just be flooded with light.
In a butterfly design, the two slopes of the roof angle in toward a center point. This creates high ceilings, allowing homeowners to build tall windows to let in natural light. But the roof's primary purpose is rainwater collection. To hear more about that, we meet with Bob Kane, the home's architect.
Hi, Bob.
I'm Gary.
Nice to meet Steve Thomas.
Steve Thomas, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Hi, Kate.
You are the architect on the job?
I am, yes.
So, explain the butterfly roof.
Well, the butterfly roof has a couple of purposes. Its primary purpose is to collect water. So we slope the roof down to a central collection point and then take the water down to our rain harvest system in the basement.
Now, you can collect a roof on a standard pitch roof with gutters on the outside.
That's true, and that's the way most houses are designed, but you wind up with many collection points around the periphery of the roof, so it's a little harder to manage.
But that's not the only reason you're doing a butterfly roof. Come on. Well, you're an architect. You've got an ulterior motive.
Well, it's all about bringing daylight into the inside of the house.
Right. So do you have any drawings?
I do.
I've never met an architect that did not show up without
I just happened to bring some drawings with me.
Let's see them. Let's see them. Okay.
This is a shot from the street of the house. It shows the butterfly roof pretty well.
So we would be standing right over my right shoulder.
You would be standing on the street, and these are the slopes of the roof down. These are clerestories immediately below the butterfly roof that let the natural light in. These are the two collection points for the roof that take it down to the rain harvest system in the basement. Natural light floods the space. That's what the client is after. They love natural light. They want that to enliven their lives.
So if Frank Lloyd Wright could do it, we can do it.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mary plans to use the rainwater from the roof to flush her home's toilets. That'll save her about 30,000 gallons of water a year. I'm here in Chicago, one of the largest users of renewable energy in the U.S. Jay Keller is an architect. Grace Adafwin is a financial analyst.
To the rain garden.
They've been engaged for a year and will be married in 2 months. Jay and Grace are dedicated to living green. They want to set an example for their families and the community. The couple is building their dream home. The big issue for them is how to prevent rainwater from flooding the sewers and at the same time use it for their backyard. Their answer is to install a rainwater collection system and lay down a water-permeable surface outdoors to enable ground absorption and minimize water runoff. Today, I'll help make a rain barrel and install a permeable paver system in the backyard. Our focus today will be on the outside.
So we've got some projects today, right?
Right.
Yes. We've got some landscaping things to do.
All right.
Some different projects that we hope you'll help us with.
I will indeed. So what do you want to do first?
Let's we'll do the rain barrels for the water collection from the roof.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
And to help us get our rain collecting barrels ready, Jay's brought in the family expert.
Larry, you are Jay's dad?
Yes.
And somehow you got roped into the rain barrel.
I enjoy this stuff.
You enjoy this stuff? What was your profession, or is your profession?
Well, I'm retired now, but I was a shop teacher former.
Oh, perfect.
And I do a lot of carpentry work on the side, so.
But it's the novice among us who's going to get hands-on here.
Ever made a rain barrel catchment system?
Have not. My chance.
Are you game?
I am game.
All right.
If you're willing to lose this barrel and not be able to use it, then we're good. Okay.
All right, you're the shop teacher.
Yeah.
So you're probably really good at this.
Teaching.
At teaching.
Teaching.
Yeah.
Teaching how to do it?
No,
Absolutely, yeah. I'd love to.
We're using recycled plastic barrels for the rainwater collection system. The first step will be to cut a hole on top to allow the rainwater to go in.
Well, it's pretty hard to get that saw blade to puncture through there right away. So we need to start out with a hole.
Okay. In the center?
Probably along the edge.
All right.
Pull the trigger.
Natural.
Excellent.
Okay.
Pull it out.
All your students keep their fingers?
33 years, and I had nobody ever lose any fingers.
Okay, watch this.
Knock on good.
Here's 34
Yeah,
years.
that's right. Knock on plastic. With the pilot hole drilled, Grace cuts a 5-inch diameter opening on the barrel's top.
Perfect.
Next, she drills a smaller hole for a faucet at the bottom and another hole for overflow at the top. Then we cover the big hole with wire mesh to keep out bugs and debris. So how much did this whole kit cost?
See, I think the barrels are like $30, and the screws are, you know, a couple bucks.
Yeah.
And the screen's pretty cheap. It's free if your dad has it in his tool shed in the backyard. They sell these things for, you know,
60, 100
yeah.
bucks, yeah.
Yeah.
So why buy one when you can make one?
Exactly.
So water goes in here.
Yep. Fills up.
Fills up. Now we need a way to get it out.
And that's at the bottom.
We need a faucet.
First thing you want to do is put some plumber's putty on it.
Okay.
And that's
Putty.
to seal it.
More about the putty.
The faucet is threaded at the end, so Jay and Grace can attach a hose and water their plants. Or they can just fill a watering can. So this would be a great project to do with kids on like a Saturday afternoon. Get the kids involved.
Get them thinking green.
Get them thinking about saving water, collecting it. Of course, they'd want to leave the screens off so they could grow mosquitoes. It's really fun.
That is true. They might be taking them off later. Okay.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right. One rain barrel.
That's it.
Now it's time to stick it under a downspout and put it to the test. They're nice and light. You just sit it up on these blocks.
Yep.
And that's it?
That should be it. Kind of aim it correctly so you know the water spills in there.
Doesn't look like rain today, so if we're going to see this thing in action, we're going to have to make some rain ourselves.
So we're going to test this out with a bucket of water here. Let's see how it works.
Ready? This is the big test. We're seeing if water really does run downhill. Goes out through the scupper, down the downspout. Wow, it's hitting the hole. Fills up the rain barrel.
Great.
That's free water for your garden. I can feel Lake Michigan say, ah, they're not pumping me dry. The rain's free. You gotta have a roof. You gotta have a downspout. You might as well put a bucket at the other end to catch it and use it. It costs very little, and you're saving water. Why not? Jay and Grace are all set to collect rainwater to use in their garden. The soils here in Chicago have a high clay content, and that means they don't absorb water. This is a couple days after a rain, and they're still wet. And you could compact this thing so tight, it'd be like a baseball. So you gotta figure out some way to shed water from the site.
Exactly.
Or else it'd just become a big mud hole back here. So what are you gonna do?
Well, we're going to do it in, for the paving area, the patio that we're going to put in. We're using a new system that's called permeable pavers.
Yeah.
And the whole concept behind it is it's got these pavers with some spacers, and they kind of interlock, kind of like big building blocks. And they only interlock a certain way. They're kind of dummy-proof. And
is that why you chose them?
Exactly, exactly.
That's right.
And they interlock, and then you put some crushed bluestone in between, and it's over an engineered recycled material base, which lets water flow through. They use this for draining golf courses and in a larger scale athletic fields, things of that nature. And it's an engineered product, and that goes underneath the pavers. And in theory, the water drains through it and kind of slowly evaporates into the earth.
The system starts with a thin plastic sheet called geotextile, or filter fabric. What does this layer do for you?
Prevents weeds from coming up.
Not that they would want to grow in this stuff.
Yeah, they may not grow, but
yeah.
But weeds do grow in just about anything, so it prevents that, and I guess it also acts as a soil stabilizer.
And then this engineered mat goes on top of that.
Yep.
Let's take a look at that. This has got another layer of filter fabric. And this is kind of a plastic scrim,
Yeah,
sort of like a scrubby
material,
pad.
Yeah.
It's recycled.
Mm-hmm.
And then bonded on top of that is another layer of filter fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So we roll this out.
Roll it out. You can cut it with a utility knife.
You have one?
We do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it cuts pretty easy. He was real accommodating.
Then on top of that go your pavers.
And then you just start setting the pavers, which is...
Set them right on top. You don't need anything
Set them right on top. They just interlock. Make sure it locks.
These durable concrete pavers lock together for stability, even spacing, and really quick installation.
Oh, this is a great system.
Isn't it slick?
Oh, man. Look how fast it goes in.
Yeah, it really does.
And most importantly, the gaps between the pavers let water go through to the layers below and ultimately into the soil.
From a green standpoint, the point of this system is that the rainwater will trickle down and slowly be reabsorbed back into the
earth.
Into the earth and then end up in the water table. And that's important because it recharges the aquifer and because it keeps that big surge of rainwater from getting dumped into the streets, where it then goes into the sewer system.
Exactly.
And eventually winds up in Lake Superior.
Exactly.
Or is that Lake Michigan?
Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, one of them.
Unabsorbed water is called runoff. It carries pollutants like motor oil, pesticides, and fertilizer to lakes, rivers, and the ocean. So improving ground absorption is key to cleaner water.
And the final step is the crushed bluestone.
The final step is the bluestone. It's pretty simple.
Crushed stone is the perfect filler, and it helps slow the water on its way down.
Now, this crushed stone will help to lock these pavers together.
Exactly.
So let's talk about cost. How much is this system?
About $1,500 for everything, the geotextile, the mat, pavers, bluestone, edging, for about 350 square feet.
And labor?
Free, when you got a family who likes to help out.
He's not paying you anything?
Well, we'll see.
Isn't he buying you a beer?
Well, I hope so. I kind of thought that was a part of the deal.